The quantum anomaly detector aboard the Nexus scout ship Twilight Seeker chimed for the third time in as many hours, drawing Scout Commander Zextal's attention away from their status reports. Their crystalline sensory appendages flickered with irritation as they studied the readings. Something about the primitive planet designated Sol 3 wasn't adding up. "Analysis complete," Commander reported Senior Observer Relith, their neural tendrils pulsing with confusion. The humans continue broadcasting their primitive radio signals, yet these quantum fluctuations, they're too precise to be natural phenomena. Zextal moved to the observation dome, their iridescent eyes fixed on the blue-green world below. By all official records, the humans were a pre-spacefaring civilization, barely managing to reach their own satellite and establish a modest orbital station. Their transmissions were filled with entertainment, commerce, and the petty squabbles of a species still divided by artificial boundaries. Yet something felt wrong. Very wrong. Deep in the secure bunker beneath the Himalayan mountains, Commander Sarah Chen watched the alien vessel's movements on a quantum-entangled display that shouldn't have been possible with Earth's official level of technology. Her dark eyes narrowed as she studied the scout ship's scan patterns. They were getting closer to detecting the truth. "Status of the quantum masking field?" she asked, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. Dr. Marcus Rivera, head of the Quantum Defense Initiative's Concealment Division, checked his holographic readouts. "Operating within parameters, Commander. The Nexus ship's active scans are being fed our carefully crafted false returns. But," he hesitated, "but their passive quantum sensors are more advanced than we anticipated. They're picking up trace signatures from the global defense grid. We can't mask everything without shutting down our entire network, and that would leave us vulnerable if they're not alone out there." Chen nodded slowly. This moment had been theorized in countless simulations since humanity discovered the truth about their place in the galaxy. 20 years ago, the discovery of the quantum transmission receiver in Antarctica had changed everything. The device, clearly artificial but estimated to be over 50,000 years old, had opened humanity's eyes to the true nature of the cosmos and the dangers that lurked between the stars. "Commander," called out Lieutenant Jessica Wong from her monitoring station, "we're detecting additional quantum wakes at the edge of the solar system. 3 more ships just dropped out of FTL." Chen moved to the central strategic display, where a 3-dimensional map of the solar system showed the positions of every known object, both visible and hidden, within its boundaries. The new arrivals were taking up positions that suggested they were setting up a long-term observation network. This was more than a casual scout mission now. In high orbit, Zextal received the update from their quantum relay. The arrival of additional observation vessels should have been reassuring, but instead, it only deepened their unease. They had studied countless emerging civilizations during their career as a scout commander, and something about this one felt different. The humans' technological progress appeared to follow a natural progression, yet, "Senior Observer," they called out, "compare the humans' current energy output with their historical records." Relith's neural tendrils twisted in concentration as they analyzed the data. "Energy consumption shows steady growth consistent with their technological level, Commander." However, they paused, double-checking their findings. "There's a discrepancy in their global heat signature. It's slightly lower than it should be for their reported industrial output. As if they're using technology far more efficient than they should have." Zextal finished the thought. "Run a deep scan of their lunar satellite. Focus on the dark side." Back in the Himalayan bunker, alarms began to sound. Chen spun toward the monitoring station. "Report. They're probing the lunar defense grid." Wang's fingers flew across her quantum-linked interface, attempting to redirect their scans, but their resolution is too high. They'll detect the energy signatures from the phase cannons. Chen made a split-second decision. Initiate Protocol Omega-7. If they're going to see behind the curtain, we control exactly what they find. She opened a secure channel to the lunar base. "Colonel Travis, you are authorized to power up Defense Grid Section L14. Make it look good." On the dark side of the moon, hidden quantum reactors hummed to life. The Nexus observers watched in shock as energy readings began spiking across their instruments. What they saw was impressive for a supposedly primitive race, but it was only a fraction of humanity's true capabilities. Impossible. Ryleth's neural tendrils writhed in agitation. They've constructed an entire defense network in secret. Energy readings suggest directed plasma weapons, shield generators. And they wanted us to find it, Zextal concluded grimly. This isn't a discovery, it's a revelation. They turned to their communications officer. Contact the Nexus High Command. Tell them. They paused, choosing their words carefully. Tell them we've encountered something unprecedented. The humans aren't just hiding their technology. They're hiding their true nature. In the Himalayan bunker, Chen watched the alien vessel's reactions with carefully measured satisfaction. Begin Phase 2, she ordered. Power up the quantum transmission network. It's time to show them what happens when humanity decides to stop hiding. Across the globe, hidden facilities began awakening. In the Mariana Trench, beneath the Antarctic ice, and deep within the Amazon rainforest, technology that had been carefully concealed for decades prepared to reveal itself. Humanity had spent 20 years preparing for this moment, building their strength in secret while studying the quantum transmissions of 1,000 alien civilizations. The game of shadows was ending. The real first contact was about to begin. But as Chen watched the alien ship scramble to process the new information, she knew this was only the beginning. The quantum receiver they'd found had contained more than just technological insights. It had carried a warning. Something was coming, something that had caused its ancient creators to hide their discovery on Earth in the first place. Humanity hadn't just been preparing for first contact. They'd been preparing for war. And as the quantum sensors detected more ships entering the outer solar system, Chen realized that war might be coming sooner than anyone had expected. The quantum wake detectors throughout the solar system erupted in a cascade of alerts as humanity's hidden fleet emerged from its concealment. Ships that had been cloaked by advanced quantum fields shimmered into visibility in the vast space between Neptune and Pluto. The Kuiper Belt, long thought to be nothing more than a collection of icy debris, revealed itself as the staging ground for Earth's true military might. Aboard the Nexus flagship Eternal Vigilance, newly arrived in the system, High Commander Vexnor watched in stunned silence as hundreds of vessels materialized on their sensors. The human ships were unlike anything in their database, smooth, dark hulls that seemed to absorb both light and scanning beams, with propulsion systems that left no traditional energy signature. By the first light, breathed Sub-Commander Krytel, their crystalline form reflecting the holographic displays surrounding them. How long have they been hiding this? Vexenor's sensory appendages twisted in agitation. More importantly, why? A civilization capable of this level of deception could have announced themselves to the galaxy years ago. They turned to their tactical officer. Analysis of their vessel capabilities. Difficult to obtain accurate readings, High Commander. Their hull composition appears to incorporate quantum-entangled materials we've only theorized about. Weapon systems are unclear, but energy readings suggest they're comparable to our own fleet. In the command center of the EDF Phantom, the flagship of Earth's hidden fleet, Admiral James Chen, Sarah Chen's father, watched the alien vessel's reactions through quantum-linked sensors that could read the minute energy fluctuations of their communications. They're attempting to calculate our combat capabilities, reported Captain Maria Santos, her hands dancing over the ship's neural interface controls. Should we give them something more to think about? Chen smiled grimly. Initiate demonstration protocol Alpha 9. Let's show them why we chose to reveal ourselves now. Throughout the fleet, quantum drives hummed to life. In perfect synchronization, Earth's ships began moving in formations that should have been impossible without decades of practiced coordination. They flowed like liquid metal through space, each vessel's movements precisely calculated to demonstrate both technical prowess and tactical capability. Back in the Himalayan bunker, Commander Sarah Chen received the quantum-encrypted transmission from her father's flagship. Phase 2 is complete, she announced to her staff. The fleet has their attention. Now for Phase 3. She turned to Dr. Rivera. Initialize the Soulgate network. Deep within the solar system, hidden quantum devices activated. Massive rings of energy burst into existence near each major planet, constructed in secret over the past 2 decades. The gates began to pulse with power, creating a network of instant transportation points throughout the solar system. Aboard the Twilight Seeker, Scout Commander Zextal watched in disbelief as their sensors registered the gate network's activation. They've built a complete quantum transportation system, they reported to High Command. The entire solar system is now effectively under their instantaneous control. High Commander Vexnor received the report with growing concern. The Nexus Confederation had encountered many rising civilizations, but none had ever managed to hide their true capabilities so effectively, or reveal them with such calculated precision. New contact, called out the Eternal Vigilance's sensor officer. Massive quantum displacement occurring near the human moon. The lunar surface shifted as hidden bay doors opened, revealing what appeared to be a massive construction facility. A vessel unlike any other slowly emerged. 3 kilometers of advanced technology that combined elements of human innovation with principles the Nexus had never seen before. "This is Admiral James Chen of the Earth Defense Force," boomed a transmission across all frequencies. "What you have witnessed is but a fraction of our capabilities. We chose to hide not out of fear, but necessity. The quantum receiver we discovered 20 years ago carried more than technological insights. It carried a warning, one we've spent 2 decades preparing to face." In the Himalayan bunker, Sarah Chen activated the quantum projection system. Above every alien vessel, a holographic display materialized, showing the contents of the ancient warning message. Images of a vast, dark force moving between the galaxies, consuming everything in its path. Civilizations falling, stars going dark. "We knew first contact was inevitable," she transmitted, her voice joining her father's. "But we also knew we couldn't face this threat alone. Our deception wasn't meant to hide from you, but to prepare for what's coming." The ancient race that left us their quantum receiver called them the Void Hunters. They've destroyed thousands of civilizations, and according to our calculations, they'll reach this galaxy within 5 years. The alien vessels remained silent as they processed this information. Finally, High Commander Vexnor responded. "You believe your hidden fleet and technology can stand against this threat?" "No," Admiral Chen replied. "But we believe that together, combining your experience with our innovation, we might have a chance. That's why we revealed ourselves now. The time for hiding is over. The time for unity has begun." As if to emphasize his words, more quantum gates activated, revealing hidden facilities throughout the solar system. Research stations studying dark energy, weapons platforms testing exotic particle physics, and shipyards constructing vessels that incorporated principles from a dozen theoretical frameworks. Humanity had spent 20 years not just building weapons, but pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. They had taken the quantum receiver's warnings and turned them into a blueprint for survival. The alien commanders watched as Earth's full capabilities were finally revealed. They had come expecting to find a primitive species taking its first steps into space. Instead, they found a civilization that had transformed itself into something entirely new, a force that had learned to harness the quantum nature of reality itself. And as the quantum sensors detected unusual disturbances at the edge of the solar system, it became clear that humanity's preparation would soon be put to the test. The game of hide and seek was over. The real challenge was about to begin. The massive chamber within Titan's hidden base hummed with quantum energy as representatives from 12 different alien civilizations gathered for the emergency summit. The holographic displays showed real-time data from long-range quantum sensors, tracking the approaching disturbance at the edge of known space. What had once been theoretical was now becoming terrifyingly real. Admiral James Chen stood before the assembled delegates, his weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of quantum interfaces. Behind him, a massive screen displayed the combined sensor data from Earth's hidden network and the advanced detection systems of their new allies. "The Void Hunters aren't just coming," he announced, his voice grave. "They're accelerating. Our latest calculations suggest we have 3 years, not 5. He gestured, and the display shifted to show the devastating wake left by these cosmic predators. Each dark zone represents a galaxy they've stripped of all advanced civilization. They don't just conquer, they consume. Technology, resources, knowledge, everything." High Commander Vexner's crystalline form pulsed with concern. "Your quantum receiver warned of this, yet you chose to face it alone. Why not seek allies sooner?" Commander Sarah Chen stepped forward, taking her place beside her father. "Because the receiver showed us more than just the threat. It showed us why previous alliances failed." She activated another holographic sequence, displaying tactical data from ancient battles. Conventional military cooperation wasn't enough. The Void Hunters adapt too quickly, learning and countering any strategy they encounter. We needed something different, something unprecedented. Dr. Rivera moved to one of the quantum interfaces, his fingers dancing across the controls. The chamber's lighting shifted as a new hologram materialized in the center of the room. A complex, interconnected web of quantum pathways and neural networks. "We call it the Aegis Protocol," he explained. "A fusion of human quantum computing, Nexus crystalline technology, meridian energy manipulation, and principles from every major civilization represented here. But more than that, it's a new way of fighting, of thinking, that the Void Hunters have never encountered." The alien representatives watched as simulations played out, showing how their combined technologies could work in ways none of them had imagined. Human quantum innovations merged with alien engineering, creating defensive systems that adapted faster than any enemy could analyze them. The Void Hunters succeed because they can predict how traditional military alliances will react, Sarah continued. But they've never faced a truly unified force. Not just ships flying together, but technologies and tactics merged at their most fundamental level. In orbit above Titan, the first prototype of this new approach was taking shape. The massive vessel designated Unity and incorporated elements from all their civilizations, but arranged in ways that defied conventional design. Its quantum crystalline hull could reconfigure itself in real time, while its neural interface systems allowed crews from different species to link their consciousness directly into the ship's operations. "We've spent 20 years not just building weapons," Admiral Chen said, "but understanding how to merge different approaches to science and warfare. The quantum receiver didn't just warn us. It showed us that victory was possible, but only if we could overcome our separate approaches to fighting." Zextal, now serving as liaison between the Nexus scout fleet and Earth's forces, moved to one of the tactical displays. "The simulations are impressive, but the scale required. We would need to rebuild our entire combined fleet." "No," Sarah corrected. "We need to build something new. Together." She activated another holographic sequence, showing construction facilities hidden throughout the solar system. These shipyards were designed to incorporate technology from any civilization. "We're not asking you to abandon your ways of fighting. We're offering to help create something greater than any of us could achieve alone." The chamber erupted in discussion as the implications became clear. Humanity hadn't just been hiding their technology. They'd been preparing to unite the galaxy's diverse approaches to warfare into something entirely new. Deep in the quantum networks, the first signs of success were already appearing. Nexus crystalline computing merged with human quantum systems produced calculation speeds that should have been impossible. Meridian energy weapons synchronized with Earth's phase cannons created effects that defied known physics. But time was running out. The quantum sensors continued tracking the Void Hunters' approach, their path of destruction clearly aimed at the Milky Way. Every civilization in the galaxy would have to choose: adapt to this new unified approach, or face extinction. In the secure quantum conference chamber beneath the Himalayan mountains, Earth's highest military command watched as the alien representatives debated. The Aegis Protocol wasn't just a defensive strategy. It was a complete reformation of how advanced civilizations would interact and fight. Admiral Chen's quantum communicator chimed with an urgent alert. The prototype Unity had detected something at the edge of its sensor range. The Void Hunters hadn't sent scouts ahead of their main force. They'd sent something else. Something that would test whether this new alliance could truly function as one. The time for planning and preparation was over. The first real test of the Aegis Protocol was about to begin, and the fate of every civilization in the galaxy hung in the balance. The prototype vessel Unity shuddered as its quantum sensors overloaded with data. At the helm, Captain Maria Santos felt the neural interface pulse with alien consciousness as her mixed crew of humans and extraterrestrials worked to process what they were detecting. The approaching vessel defied conventional analysis. It seemed to exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously. Configuration matches nothing in any of our databases, reported Corell, the Nexus sensor specialist, their crystalline form vibrating with tension. Energy signature suggests, by the first light, it's consuming dark matter as it moves. In the vessel's tactical center, Sarah Chen watched through quantum-linked displays as the unknown ship approached. The Unity represented everything they'd worked toward. Human intuition combined with alien expertise, wrapped in technology that pushed the boundaries of known physics. Now they would see if it was enough. All sections, full combat synchronization, she ordered. Throughout the ship, neural interfaces hummed to life as the crew merged their consciousness into a unified operating network. Human tactical thinking merged with Nexus crystalline computing and meridian energy manipulation. The Unity wasn't just a ship, it was a manifestation of what different species could achieve together. The alien vessel struck without warning. A beam of concentrated dark energy lanced out, aimed at the Unity's quantum crystalline hull. But the ship's defenses had already adapted, its structure shifting to redirect the energy through pathways designed by 3 different civilizations working in concert. "Return fire," Sarah commanded. "Show them what Unity really means." The Unity's combined weapons systems activated. Human phase cannons merged their fire with Nexus crystal beams and Viridian plasma streams, creating an attack pattern that existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously. The enemy vessel tried to dodge, but the unified targeting systems predicted its movement before it began. The hit was devastating. The alien ship's dark matter drive fluctuated as the combined attack breached its defenses, but instead of exploding, it began to transform, its hull flowing like liquid metal as it adapted to the damage. Just as the quantum receiver warned, Admiral Chen's voice came through the command channel from his position in the Himalayan bunker. "The Void Hunters learn from every attack, but so do we." The Unity's quantum computers processed the enemy's adaptation in real time, feeding the data through neural networks designed by multiple species. As the alien vessel prepared for another attack, the combined crew was already implementing countermeasures no single civilization could have conceived. In the ship's engineering section, Dr. Rivero worked with alien technicians to push their unified systems to their limits. "Quantum field synchronization at maximum," he reported. "Crystal matrix is stable. Meridian energy flow optimal. We're ready for full convergence." Sarah nodded grimly. They had trained for this, but no one had ever attempted such a complete merger of different species technologies in actual combat. "Initiate Aegis Protocol. Full spectrum." The Unity transformed. Its quantum crystalline hull began to pulse with merged energy signatures from a dozen different technological approaches. The neural network expanded, allowing the crew to share not just information but cultural knowledge about warfare and survival. Human creativity merged with alien experience, creating battle strategies that evolved faster than any enemy could analyze. The Void Hunter vessel attacked again, this time with weapons designed to counter their previous defense. But the Unity had already changed. its systems reconfiguring based on the combined intuition of its unified crew. The enemy's dark energy weapons found no target, passing through quantum fields that shifted between states faster than light. Multiple quantum signatures detected, Corell announced. They're calling for reinforcements. Sarah smiled. So are we. Throughout the solar system, the newly unified fleet moved into position. Ships of human design flew in formation with alien vessels, their crews linked through neural networks that transcended species barriers. Each vessel had been modified with technology from multiple civilizations, creating a defense force unlike anything the galaxy had seen. The Unity led the charge as more Void Hunter vessels emerged from dark space. Each enemy ship was different, adapted to counter specific strategies and technologies. But they had never faced an opponent that could change the rules of engagement itself. Human quantum computers merged with alien consciousness, predicting attack patterns and crafting responses that drew from thousands of years of combined military experience. Ships moved in formations that shouldn't have been possible, their crews thinking and acting as one through the neural network. As the battle raged, Sarah received quantum transmissions from throughout the galaxy. Other civilizations had witnessed the effectiveness of their unified approach. The Aegis Protocol was spreading, transforming military doctrine across known space. Fear of the Void Hunters was being replaced by something else, hope born of true cooperation. But in the quantum data streams, hidden patterns emerged. The Void Hunters weren't just testing their defenses, they were gathering information. The real battle was still to come, and it would take more than just combining their technologies to win it. The galaxy was changing. Species that had once viewed each other with suspicion were learning to fight as one. But as Sarah watched the enemy vessels retreat into dark space, she knew this was just the beginning. The Void Hunters would return, stronger and more adapted than before. The question wasn't whether their unified technologies could win the war. It was whether the galaxy's civilizations could maintain their unity in the face of an enemy designed to exploit every weakness and division. The battle for survival had only just begun. The quantum sensors throughout the unified fleet screamed warnings as space itself seemed to tear apart. The Void Hunters' main force had arrived, not in dozens or hundreds, but thousands of vessels emerging from dark space. Each ship was different, evolved through countless battles across multiple galaxies, and all of them had one purpose: the complete elimination of advanced civilization. Admiral James Chen stood on the bridge of the Unity, now the flagship of the largest combined fleet in galactic history. Around him, representatives from every major spacefaring race worked in perfect synchronization through the neural interface network. They had spent months preparing for this moment, expanding the Aegis Protocol across the galaxy. They're advancing in quantum-shifted formations, reported Corell, their crystalline form pulsing with data from multiple sensor arrays. Each group is operating on a different dimensional frequency. Sarah Chen, now serving as tactical commander for the unified fleet, studied the holographic display showing the enemy's approach. They're trying to prevent us from engaging their full force at once. Divide and conquer. It's how they've always won before. But not this time, Admiral Chen said firmly. He opened a channel to the entire fleet. All vessels, initiate Aegis Protocol. Ultimate configuration. Throughout the fleet, ships began to change. The quantum crystalline technology that had started with the Unity had been refined and enhanced by the combined scientific knowledge of a dozen civilizations. Vessels merged their defensive fields, creating overlapping layers of protection that existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously. The first wave of Void Hunters struck with weapons that bent the laws of physics. Dark energy beams capable of unraveling matter at the subatomic level lanced out toward the unified fleet. But humanity's quantum innovations, combined with alien defensive technology, had created something new. Ships that could phase between states faster than even these ancient predators could adapt. Return fire, Sarah commanded. Full spectrum assault. The unified fleet responded as one consciousness. Human phase cannons synchronized with Nexus crystal beams, meridian plasma weapons, and technology from every participating civilization. The combined attack created patterns of destruction that couldn't be predicted or countered because they drew from the tactical knowledge of every species at once. In the quantum networks linking the fleet, Dr. Rivera worked with alien scientists to push their unified systems beyond theoretical limits. The neural interface is holding, he reported. Cross-species consciousness sync at optimal levels. The Void Hunters struck back harder, their ships morphing into new configurations that countered the unified fleet's initial success. But this was what humanity had spent 20 years preparing for. The quantum receiver hadn't just warned them about the threat. It had shown them that true victory required more than just technological superiority. They adapt to patterns, Sarah announced to the fleet. So let's show them what happens when there are no patterns to predict. All ships initiate random quantum state shifts. Fight on instinct, not programming. The unified fleet dissolved into apparent chaos. Each ship began moving according to the split-second decisions of its merged crew, drawing from the combined intuition of multiple species. The Void Hunters' adaptive algorithms couldn't predict actions that came from this unprecedented mixture of different approaches to combat. For the first time in their long history of conquest, the Void Hunters faced an opponent that evolved faster than they could. Every time they adapted to one approach, the unified fleet had already shifted to something new, something that combined aspects of warfare from civilizations that had developed independently across the galaxy. But victory wouldn't come easily. The enemy's numbers were overwhelming, and their technology was the product of countless conquered worlds. In the heart of the battle, the Unity shuddered as multiple dark energy beams converged on its position. Hull integrity failing, Corell reported. The quantum field can't compensate for this level of attack. Sarah grabbed the neural interface controls. Then we'll give them something else to focus on. All ships, execute Protocol Omega. Throughout the fleet, quantum drives engaged simultaneously. The complex network of gates humanity had built throughout their solar system had been expanded, creating a web of quantum tunnels that encompassed the battlefield. Ships began jumping between positions faster than light itself, appearing and disappearing in patterns that defy prediction. The Void Hunters found themselves attacking empty space as their targets shifted positions faster than their weapons could track. The unified fleet struck from multiple angles simultaneously, their attacks synchronized through the neural network that bound their crews together. In the quantum data streams, Sarah detected a change in the enemy's behavior. The Void Hunters weren't just losing. They were experiencing something entirely new: uncertainty. Their perfect record of adaptation and conquest was being broken by an opponent that refused to follow any predictable pattern of evolution. Their formation is breaking, Admiral Chen announced. Push the advantage. Show them why unity is stronger than conquest. The unified fleet surged forward, their combined weapons tearing through the enemy's previously impenetrable defenses. Ships that had terrorized countless galaxies found themselves unable to counter attacks that came from the merged tactical knowledge of species they had never encountered. As the battle reached its climax, Sarah realized that humanity's greatest contribution hadn't been their quantum technology or hidden fleet. It had been their ability to bring together different civilizations, to show them that true strength came not from perfecting one approach to warfare, but from combining many. The Void Hunters began to retreat, their remaining ships vanishing back into dark space. But they left behind more than just defeat. They left a legacy of change. The galaxy's civilizations had learned that they were stronger together than apart, that diversity of thought and approach was not a weakness to be overcome, but a strength to be embraced. In the aftermath, as the unified fleet regrouped and began repairs, Admiral Chen received transmissions from across the galaxy. Other civilizations that had hidden from the Void Hunters were emerging, seeking to join this new alliance. The Aegis Protocol wasn't just a defensive strategy anymore. It had become a blueprint for a new way of existence. Humanity had started their journey in secrecy, hiding their true capabilities from the galaxy. But they had ended it by showing everyone a greater truth. that the strongest defense against any threat was not isolation, but unity. The galaxy would never be the same, and neither would its inhabitants. The age of separation was over. The age of unity had begun.